Hi everyone. Hi Lori.
Hi, Nina.
We're back here again. And obviously today we are not together, you and I, Lori, here in Spain anymore, but we are in different countries. But as always, we're still together in thought and in spirit.
Yes.
And today we wanted to really touch on a subject which is very close to our heart, which is about gratitude. And the reason really we wanted to talk about gratitude today is because tomorrow is the 1st of October and it's the full moon. And we always, like to celebrate the full moon on the way that, we take a few moments and think about all things that we are grateful for. Because especially during a time like this, when we are taking out of our comfort zones, it's very important to try to actually focus on the positives instead of focusing just on the negatives that the universe or the life is bringing to us. And because, this is one of the most fundamental universal laws, which is the law of attraction. And if we focus too much on this negativity that is surrounding us in media, outside, and then we are actually bringing this negativity back into our lives. So we need to try to somehow, change that around and actually concentrate on more positive things, such as gratitude. So if we do, for example, with both me and Lori, I'm sure Lori, you're doing this as well. We are writing our list of gratitude. We are sometimes texting to each other, or we are texting to our loved ones. And just taking, that moment, just for one moment, to sit back and really think, what am I grateful for right now, this moment? Okay? So please, people, feel free to comment, and I could just start myself and just say, I am actually very grateful for this technology. That right now, I can speak to Lori, and we can share all of these our recordings with our tribe and with all the people around the world, as well as, of course, technology today. They really bring us the one way of us connecting with our families that we cannot see at the moment due to the restrictions, the lockdowns, the border controls, whatever it might be. And as Lori knows and many other people know, my family, we're all spread around the globe. And it's been so important for us to actually have this technology so that we can connect. So I just would like to then ask Lori, Lori, is there anything that you can think of what is really you are grateful for right now at this moment? Or maybe something that has taken you out of your comfort zone, something different?
Well, like you mentioned, I do try to focus on gratitude often and bring that back into my space, because there is so many times in a day that, you can get thrown out of feeling happy or good in a space sometimes. So for example, actually, it reminds me, today I had to go to the dentist. So I don't really like to go to the dentist. I don't know how
No,
many
neither
people.
do I, no, yeah.
It was only a cleaning, but still, it was like, oh, this space, like I don't want to go. And I'm living in Germany, and my language skills are not that good. So it was definitely out of my comfort zone, because I need to talk to the cleaning like staff, and I need to talk to the dentist, the doctor in German, and everybody in German. That's a challenge. It really puts me out of my comfort zone. But after, it's like I get done and then everything's fine, and I'm like, you know what? I'm really grateful that I have access to dental care. And it's so simple. And for some of us, it's really something that we overlook, because
Yes.
living in first world countries, or having, enough money to go to the dentist, is something that a lot of us take for granted and don't often think about. And we just exactly think about how much we don't like the dentist. But seriously, I am really grateful that I had the opportunity to go, because if I do have a problem, I know that I can get it fixed.
Absolutely.
So that was one. Yeah. That was one space today that I really did like come up with the gratitude. And another one, if I can share another one with you. So after my dentist appointment, I had to go out, and again, out of my comfort zone. I had to make a reservation in German for an English speaking group, actually, in the area that we're going to get together, and I'm going to host it. So I'm excited, of course, to make this kind of community and have like a space where we can get together. but I have to make a reservation in German. So, okay, I go to the first place I'm thinking to go, and the guy's like, no, we can't accept you here. We don't accept groups like that. We don't do it, da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then he keeps asking me questions. So I'm like, really, like, he's really pushing me out of my comfort zone. It's like, you already said no. I was ready to walk away. But oh, so anyways, I had to still explain myself more. And it's, again, but it's a good space. I'm grateful because when someone continues to talk to me in German, it's my opportunity to reply and to use my skills that I have.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I went to the next place, and the lady was so friendly and so nice. And it was just like, yeah, no problem. And then she's like, come take a look. Where do you guys want to sit? And it was just like completely, I don't know. It was a complete different energy. And again, I felt like also a gratitude for myself, because after the first place, I was kind of like, oh man, because I heard from other people saying how it's always so hard to book groups in the area, and
Mm-hmm.
especially with COVID now. So it really felt like kind of like, oh, here we go, almost this negative energy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
actually, the second place that I went to was perfect. It was fine. She was so friendly, and she's like, no problem, wrote it in the calendar. So in this way, it was like, I'm grateful even myself that I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, like keep going, because I can easily ask someone else to do it. I'm sure a friend would make the reservation for me, but it's like, that's not really the
And
point.
these are really the little wins that we have every day that we don't actually normally think about and we don't appreciate. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, because we take them for granted and we said, well, that's not a big deal. But actually, I do think it is a big deal, because it is that, we pushed ourselves, above that limit, that, yes, I can do this. And it's very empowering. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I really think, can reflect on that, actually, what you were saying, because I feel that, you know, all this time that these months have taken me out of this my comfort zone, I really feel that I'm actually achieving more right now, because it's almost like, oh gosh, there's no time to lose. I need to do this now. I need to get on with this now, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And actually, the false pretense that we've always had, I think, in our lives is that we always, in the past, somehow we thought that, oh, there will always be tomorrow. But actually, how do we know there's going to be a tomorrow? So actually, we should have put things off. And I know that we've done before, like, meditations on, on exactly that, and not actually push things further and further, but actually get on with things. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel personally that, I'm actually much, much more proactive, um, because I've been taken out of my comfort zone. And somehow it's like, okay, like when the bird mother is kicking out the little bird, I said, no, I can't fly. But actually you realize, yes, I can fly. So I really can relate with you that, it's actually very empowering. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, it's really important that we take a notice of that. And again, you're turning the whole story from something negative into something positive.
Yeah.
So, and then of course that in return, again, like we said, law of attraction is going to bring you something even better. That's why probably brought you the lady, a
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah. I agree with you as well. It's really like the way that we think of things or like approach it. I mean, and sometimes we can go in, with the energy that it's like, exactly. Like I said, so many people told me before that it's hard to book at these, to find a venue to book for a group in the area. So I was kind of like, okay, but I'm going to do this. So the energy was kind of already there, but and I got that first kind of shutdown, and I was like, oh, like they were right. But it's like, no, I know there's got to be a better place. Not a better place, but a place that's going to accept us, right? And and it's really, it reflects our mindsets and the way that we
Yeah.
project that energy out there. And it's paramount. And that's, I think, like so important when it comes back to how you mentioned about gratitude, because when we're grateful for something,
Mm.
even if something seems, like I said, like the dentist, like, ooh, even my mouth, I just had a cleaning, but it's like, wow, man, she really did a number on my gums, right? So even I can still feel it all day. But like I say, I'm grateful that I have access to this. There's millions of people on this planet that don't have access to dental care.
And it is actually
Millions.
with the both situations you're talking about, with the dentist, and and these people warning you about that this is going to be, they basically say this is going to be a negative experience. So you're already anticipating a negative experience. out of
Yeah.
both of them. But actually,
Yeah.
you turned it around into a positive experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly, maybe sometimes exactly this is another thing that we need to sometimes, take back and say, like, why am I anticipating a negative experience? Even though
Yeah.
it's something like a dentist, because at the end of the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
as you said, they are only trying to help us, or making us, healthier, or our teeth. So
Yeah. I think it's also interesting because it's like, yeah, it's like the mindset. Like you said, like you think you're thinking it's going to be a negative space. So potentially already going in with that, like, kind of worry or concern, or you look almost for the bad or the dark things, right?
yes,
But
yes.
it's
And it
it's
is
an
the normal,
interesting.
it's like with children, isn't it? Sorry, like you say, if you're looking for the monster, you're going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to maybe stop looking for those monsters, and instead looking at them on the positive side of it,
Yeah,
so
look
that
for
we
the
can.
angels, look for the people that help us and support us, because
Absolutely.
exactly, like, even the, I don't know what, I'm sure there's the dental assistant, I think that's her name, I call her the cleaning lady, but it's,
Yeah.
I think, the dental assistant that does the cleaning at the beginning,
Yeah.
right? So even her, she was so pleasant. And like I say, my German is, it's getting better, step by
Yes.
step.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's in a doctor situation, I can't understand a lot of the words that they say when it comes to a health space, or I don't know how to express myself necessarily, except if I'd say there was pain, but that wasn't the case. So there was sometimes difficulties, but she was so pleasant. And it's like she just spoke so clearly to me. I'm like, maybe she's doing this just for me, or maybe she does it for everybody. But she was so clear the way she spoke. And it really, it's like exactly that support again that
Yeah.
we can touch on too, when we have these kinds of people or places and opportunities to exactly see that the positive and to really start to shift the way that we experience life in general, because the things are going to happen. We
Absolutely.
all know that.
And like again, like you were saying, that I think also that people can actually sense that if we are a little bit insecure, or we are in a new situation. I mean, the same for me here in Spain, that, I'm dealing with the plumbers, and I'm dealing with with electricians and engineers. And I just think, like, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to, I don't understand all this in Spanish, but actually they are so patient, and they really take good care of me, really explaining it again and again and again. And then you think, like, wow, I did it. I did it.
Mhm,
Even though I'm not very good at any of these kind of things. But I think, again, because we are giving that positive energy out there to them, and saying that we are prepared, we are ready to actually try. I think a lot of people exactly give that back to us and say, okay, we're with you. We're going to help
mhm.
you. So it's
Yeah,
actually it's a wonderful experience.
I think so
So
too. I have one question for you, Nina. What do you think in regards to the full moon? How can we, or what would you recommend that we do then this full moon to
I
make
would
sure we
really,
write
I would
it?
really actually just take the time and exactly doing that, and not actually thinking too deeply, because this is again what we always do, but actually going with more with the instinct, and just trying and sitting back and taking again, a few deep breaths, and just thinking about, what am I grateful for right now in this moment?
Hmm.
What are the things that come to you? And whatever the things are, write them down. Just write them down. You can put them on a piece of paper, you can put them in a box, you can put them in your wallet. It doesn't matter, but just write them down, because it just becomes a little bit more powerful when you do that. And and look at them, and then later on you can take the time and look at it and think, okay, what made me write down these things? Because a lot of times is these things that come straight to your mind, or actually things that come from your heart, and your
Hmm.
heart never lies. So take a good look at them, and trust them, and trust your intuition and your heart, and just be grateful.
Oh,
Okay?
thank you. Thank
Okay?
you. That's lovely advice. I really love that, just coming from your heart, because that's what I'm all about also, just really listening to my heart and moving forward from that space. Um, but we are coming to an end now for
Yes.
our short little program. So thank you so much for listening, for taking this time to listen to Niina and I. And we both wish and hope that this video finds you well, that you can find some insight and inspiration to have more gratitude in your space and to bring positive energy. Um, we're happy to help support you and to bring the community together. So if you are enjoying this video, feel free to like this video, to share this video with your friends and family or anybody you think might be interested in it or could benefit from it. Comment on the video below, send us messages if you're interested in learning more with us. Yeah,
And
or if
just,
you
yes,
just want
and
to share.
and thank you, Lori, and just like you said, even just comment and just write down what are you grateful for today. It's just
Yeah.
always nice to see, like, well, I think a lot of people would be surprised when they hear you say dentist, but, so please do write your comments and write what are you grateful for. It would be lovely to read them.
Yeah, fantastic.
And we see you
Okay.
next week again.
Yes. Bye,
Okay, thanks,
everybody.
Lori. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.